Okay, so this is part 4 and I've shot this now straight after part 3 because video kind of went a bit tits up with my editing, because I tried to film it all in Ultra HD and it wouldn't work with converting it, and YouTube wouldn't accept it, and Facebook. So long story short, I'm shooting this one separately to the other videos because there were a couple of things I did film afterwards which I haven't converted over. So they are very important things. Now, when you're setting your timing chain, there is a specific number of pins that we need to be apart. I'm just going to try and turn this so my light can shine on it for you. So what I mean by that is, when we look at the pins, number 2 arrow points to this pin, okay? It's the first pin here, the left hand side pin of that. And there should be exactly 15 pins apart between where arrow 3 points. Okay, so let's count them so you know. So obviously that's like a link, isn't it, on a chain. So number 2 is pointing to the left side link hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15's a magic number that number 3 needs to point to. So it's left hole on the link here for number 2 that it's pointing to, not the right hole, the left hole. Then we count that pin 15 pins over to where number 3 arrow points to, which is the left link on that, the left pin on that link. Exactly 15 apart. And the engine set at top dead center still, and the cams are pointing, exhaust cam to the left, intake cam to the right, like that. Your cam chain tensioner's in, it's under tension, auto cam chain adjuster on this one. That is what I should have put on the last video for you, because that is impeccable if you're removing these to shim underneath and putting the cams back. There's a lot of things to remember there when you're putting it all back together again. Now, one thing that didn't film correctly, which I'm having to redo again, is this housing here. Underneath this, there's a thermostat. Okay, 2 bolts to get it off. But this engine is an S. The only engines that have the thermostat are the S and the SM. The E model engines do not have a thermostat inside here. Now take this off with your 2 bolts, take your thermostat out. Now I've got a different looking thermostat here for a different model. I think it's for an LTZ. But that's what it looks like, and that is what you'll find in your engine underneath this cover. I took this off earlier on the other video and it were all congealed up, and I've fully cleaned it and I've put it back in. Now the reason why I fully cleaned it is because this engine was stood for a long time in somebody's shed, purchased as a spare engine. And you can drop them in boiling water and see them open if you want to test them. Now I'm a bit mindful that the back end of the last video went a bit skew with, and I'm so sorry for that. That was me prattling around with stuff, and I should have filmed it this way like I always do. So that's my bad. Here is the pair valve blanking kit that I put on. This was the old tube that was on, and it was on here. It was mounted to there, and it went down to feed the pair valve, which is strapped to the engine down here on the DRZ. They're not required, okay? I bought this kit off the internet. I like it because it comes with a real fancy little pre-cut plate and a gasket. I use this, it don't come with bolts, use the same bolts, thread lock them in afterwards. But the kit is smart motor, and it comes with 2 block off tube and pipe hoses. which are required if you're doing the pair valve delete on the DRZ 400S and SM engines, not the E, because if you're doing the pair valve delete on the S and the SM engines. The E engine will not have a pair valve on it. Okay, so you guys have got E engines and you're looking at this stuff and you're thinking, well, I got over there, it's solid. That's because the E engine never had one over here. It didn't need to. It was for emissions and road legal stuff. If you're a Californian person, you've got a lot more shit on your back. You've got to delete. There's a lot more emission stuff on there because California were just absolutely off their rocker before Trump got into power on emissions. So yeah, I hope that clears a few things up for you. I am going to compression test this. I have put a camera down the engine to look at the piston. I use this sort of kit. And it comes with a little camera and a light on the end of it, and it has this on it so you can view it all. I stick it in here to see the valves opening up and get a general look of the condition of the valves inside the exhaust. And you can stick it anywhere. It's a really cool bit of kit. It's just a snake camera lens, but I put it down inside the engine here and I had a look at the piston and everything, which were kind of cool. As with all pistons, it's a bit black on top, but we do have a lot of compression there. I can feel it just from experience with cranking it over. But like I said, I am going to compression test it this weekend. I will do a leak down test on it as well, just for a laugh, kicks and giggles, and film the process, show you it if you know how to do it, how good is it, you know. And it's a lot different from just a basic compression cylinder test, which will only tell you certain readings. A full leak down test kit, you link it up to a compressor, compress it up, and you can then squirt around your engine and listen to various parts and see the readings and gauge the reading on the percentage drop, to see what's good and what's bad, what's acceptable, what state it's in, basically. The difference is between a basic compression tester, which just screws into the spark plug and you need to crank the engine over to see the reading, against a compression leak down test. So yeah, this is an additional video to my last one. Guys, if you saw my video on the cam chain tensioner that I did the other week, my revised one, this is the first generation cam chain tensioner. Okay, not the ratchet version. See that it is on the group. There's not wrong with both. One's superseded by the other, but they both do the same job. See my separate video on a manual cam chain tensioner, the benefits of extended life by having a longer shaft on it to pressurize the cam chain. Obviously Suzuki have set they're both the same length, the new one and the revised one, so that when it's fully extended, you know, and it goes beyond that, and you've got slack here, you're at the end of your cam chain life and you need to swap that. And it's a tear down of this side, but I can show you where they go on a separate video. Now, before you put your head rocker cover on and you've got it all torqued up, make sure you rotate your crank over, and make sure that you rotate it a few times and you rotate it anti-clockwise. That, okay, anti-clockwise, that's the motion of the engine. Rotate it 3, 4, 5 times and set it back to top dead center, and then check that you've got number 2 pointing up and number 3 pointing up, and your cam lobes are pointing that one to the left, that one to the right. Do a little dance, everything's right, sort of thing. Okay, but that just double that. The reason why you do that is because when you're taking the cam chain tensioner off of this, and you're taking the guide off, because you're pulling the cam covers off, and you're pulling this out to reshim it, and you put it all back again, you create a bit of slackness on this, and it goes round a gear mechanism down here. We just want to make sure that even though we're weighting it off, that when we put it back on again, we're back on this gear down here. And before you put your rocker cover on, rotate it 4, 5, 6 times, right? And then set it back at top dead center through your little eyelet hole down here. Check your lobes again. Check that we're vertical on 3 here, pointing upwards. Number 2, pointing upwards. Then you're good. You know that you haven't slipped off this mechanism down here, because if you don't check that and you have slipped off that mechanism, your timing's all gone to pot and it'll ruin your engine. Okay, important thing to check. So yeah, I had to film this video for y'all before everybody else picked up on it and started slagging me off. Alright, cheers guys, take care, bye bye.